Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Viall Files. I'm your host, Nick. I have my trusty producer, Rochelle.
Hello.
With me today, Shug is on vacation.
In Canada.
I'm really the only one who's really, truly committed to being here.
Oh, stop it. That is so annoying.
No, it's great to have you here, Rochelle.
It's your show.
We have a great episode today. My dear friend, Andrea Russett, is our guest today. Many of you people probably are tuning in to hear Andrea, as she has quite the social presence.
How do you know her?
All platforms. We talked about this on the episode. Listen to the episode and we'll talk about it. We were talking and I thought she'd be a great guest because we've had so many conversations about fuck buddies and friends with benefits and the transition from going from that to friends, and if you decide not to, and who likes who more, and then what if happens if you date someone else, and she's kind of in this situation right now.
She is. Ugh.
She seems like to have a good grasp on it.
Okay.
And so anyways, I put Andrea on the old couch, so to speak.
Don't say that. Don't say
in
that.
In a therapeutic sort of way, not in
Okay.
a sexual way.
Okay.
Why does that?
When you say it, I guess I don't know.
When I say it? What do you mean when I say
Put
it?
her on the old couch.
What does that sound? When I say that, it sounds sexual?
I don't know.
Wow. Also, like, I sent you a screenshot of my friend who was texting something about the podcast, and they started with "Hey babe," and you gave me a big eye roll.
I did.
You're like, "Hey babe," you called me. I sent Rochelle, and like my friend was saying, "Hey, I'm noticing something with the podcast," and I sent it to Rochelle, be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" But my friend was like, "Hey babe, I noticed this." And
It was just, I feel like
you rolled
if
your
you
eyes.
start with "Hey babe," it's a little bit condescending. Like, "Hey babe, just so you know, your podcast isn't downloading." And I was like, she isn't subscribed. That's why.
That was true.
I thought the babe
but
is
the
a
thing
little
about text messages, it all depends on who you're getting it from and how you. I know her. We have this relationship, so in no way I read it that way.
But why do you care if I roll my eyes at her?
Not at her. I was just. I thought. See, that's the thing. I thought you were rolling your eyes at me.
Oh no!
About
I
like my
wasn't.
friends are like calling me babe.
No, I don't care if your friends call you babe.
Isn't it interesting though?
are.
Speaking of text, and we talked about this last week with the Blake stuff. That's why you don't release text.
Yeah.
Because like it's amazing how many different ways anyone can interpret a text.
Yeah.
And when you don't see a conversation, and then when you put someone's text out there for the world to see,
Yeah.
everyone can read it in whatever tone they want.
It's true.
It's wild. Anyways,
Wild.
before we get into Andrea, we have a lot of thoughts on the
Oh boy.
recent events in Bachelor in Paradise, both on the show and some of the Demi and Tanner drama.
Yes. Drama.
So let's get into that. But before we do,
Time for Nick to sell you things you really need, but you don't own yet.
I used some Scentbird this weekend
At the wedding?
at the wedding.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
brought my Scentbird with me. I only travel with Scentbird.
That's
now.
amazing.
I'm not kidding.
You should have taken a picture with it.
I guess I should have, but it was great. And it's like so easy. I had a variety of different ones. I have my favorite, and then I have some other ones like just in case. But I just threw it in my backpack, and it is like right there. Thankfully, I didn't lose one this week like last time I traveled.
Good.
But
And they're
even if I
sexy
did,
tubes.
even
They're
if I
gonna-
did, it was like losing $7.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world.
Right. And you wanted to smell good in case something happened at the
Like,
wedding.
yes.
You never know.
Actually, little secret. It's so small that I put it in my coat pocket because like the wedding was earlier. I wasn't going to go back and change.
Yeah.
So I was able to freshen up because even though I wasn't there to hook up, I still wanted to smell great for the lady. In fact, I'm pretty sure Jared's mom has a bit of a crush on me, and I wanted to smell. Actually, I think Jared's and Ashley's mom has a bit of a crush on me.
Really? Well, how can you tell?
They kind of told me I'm a handsome devil.
Oh,
Anyway, no,
handsome
they're
devil.
very sweet people. Jared's dad's a hoot. But anyways, I had my Scentbird with me
Nice.
all weekend. It was incredible. To get your Scentbird, we have an exclusive offer just for our listeners. You can get 50% off your first month today. That's only $7.50 for your first fragrance.
Do it.
Go to scentbird.com and use my code Viall, Viall, for 50% off your first month. Again, that is SCENTBIRD.com/VIALL for you to try your perfume or cologne for just $7.50.
Nice.
Your first perfume or cologne for $7.50.
Handsome devil.
Sign on, smell amazing, Scentbird. Simple contacts.
Oh,
I also like you without glasses.
thank you.
I mean, your glass is phenomenal, Rochelle. But also, when you don't wear glasses and you wear your simple contacts,
I know I haven't been wearing contacts because it was hard for me to get
you're
it.
versatile.
What does that mean?
I don't know if you know this about you. You can
Versatile?
You can look both good with and without glasses.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant. Thank you.
Like, you could argue that I'm not as versatile. Like,
You look good with glasses.
no, but like, I didn't have a beard, and it was like, and I have a beard. Everyone's like, oh, you're kind of good looking.
You're locked into the beard.
I mean, I think it's a little bit exaggerated, but people maybe feel less. It's not about me.
It's not about you.
Anyways.
It's about the contacts. But I haven't been wearing contacts because it was so hard for me to get my prescription filled. But then Simple Contacts came along, made it super easy.
What's your favorite part?
I like that you can just do it online. They deliver to you, and they have great customer service. Like, they texted me being like, hey, just so you know, it's on its way.
And they're like really affordable. And
Yeah, very affordable.
and if you lose your contacts,
just order some more. Plus, you can do a vision test online.
what?
Yep. So you don't have to go get your prescription from your
You
doctor.
just stare right into a computer.
Yeah.
And it just
It's the future, babe.
checks your eyes.
I don't know why I said babe.
It's fine. See, not condescending. You know what I'm saying? It all depends.
Okay.
It all depends.
All right.
Well, Michelle, the contact lens prices are unbeatable. The
Yep.
vision test is only $20 and shipping is free. Best of all, my listeners get $20 off their first Simple Contacts order with promo code VIALL20.
Nice.
Try it for yourself and save $20 on your lenses by going to simplecontacts.com/VIALL20 and entering the code VIAL20 at checkout. I want to mention that this isn't a replacement for your periodic full eye
Right.
health exam.
Yeah.
No. You still need to do that.
Yeah.
You still need those occasionally, as we just said. But is the most convenient way to renew a prescription and reorder your contacts if your vision hasn't changed, which hopefully it's not
Right.
that often. Don't just take it from me, though. Simple Contacts has been rated 5 stars over 5,000 times on the App Store. That's pretty impressive. It sure goddamn is. Again, get $20 off at simplecontacts.com/VIALL20 or just enter code VIALL20 at checkout. Save time, save money, and save yourself a headache with Simple Contacts.
Now go buy the stuff.
Woo, what a week. Rochelle, Bachelor in Paradise summer drama.
Action-packed episodes.
Should we let's just get into the Demi and Tanner drama that happened over the
Saga.
past week. It's interesting. I'm close friends with both.
Right.
Demi has become quite the fast friend. And then Tanner, out of nowhere.
He doesn't normally take stands like this, does he?
Tanner does.
Oh, he does?
Tanner's
Okay.
one to have an opinion. Interesting. Like Tanner, it's not like I was texting him like, why are you coming
Yeah,
at
what
Demi?
did he-
Like, I don't.
Yeah, what did he say?
Well, he tweeted something, which was just a thought. He deleted it 10 minutes later, and as the internet goes, obviously things are forever, and then it got picked up by Us Weekly. So then Tanner was kind of like, well, fuck it. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, this is how I feel, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
He doubled down.
So the tweet says, so Demi said,
Basically, well,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, basically, the original tweet had something to do like, so Demi can have a girlfriend back at home, but Jed can't, kind of
Right.
thing, and comparing the two. And then Jed went on, then Tanner goes on in his kind of explanation, basically saying, hey, listen, I'm just kind of annoyed by the lack of sincerity we're seeing on Bachelor in Paradise recently with the
Amen.
planned relationship, et cetera, et cetera. And then Demi became the target of his kind of his frustration. Listen, I get where I think it's two separate arguments, to be honest. I get the, and let's just go back to comparing
was-
Demi and Jed, right? First of all, off the bat, it's not the same. Let me explain. One is Bachelor in Paradise is not the same as The Bachelor and Bachelorette. They're two very different formats.
Yeah.
Let's just black and white, right? In terms of The Bachelorette and Bachelor, there is a single lead, and that one person has this pressure both from the show and America to find love and get engaged.
Right.
Right? Everyone else who shows up is, ideally showing up with the open mind to fall in love, but that one lead has this pressure to have this opportunity to find love. So everyone else that and so they have a finite group of people to pick from. They don't get to pick. The producers pick 25 to 30 people, of which they're counting on these people at a minimum are single and available to maybe date. Right. And this one person has the pressure. Bachelor in Paradise, no one goes in with any expectation from America or the show to end in a relationship. No one.
What?
No, not one single person. The show, the overall show of people going in, the idea is people are going in looking for love, but no one goes in there with the target on the back that the lead of the Bachelor or Bachelorette has at to find love.
Okay.
It's an expectation, right?
Right.
Everyone does. And there has to be some sort of reason. Colton, Cassie's dad had to come say, you're too young. Becca had to have the Jed situation. So Jed going in and having the girlfriend versus Demi just off of face value is worse. I agree with Tanner that there's a frustration of people going in with significant others. After my season of The Bachelor, I heard that almost all the girls from my season that went on Bachelor in Paradise all were dating people from back home.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time. I don't think that's okay. Why I think the Demi and Jed situation is very different is one person lied to everyone, specifically the show, and one person did not. Demi, as we see on the show, she was very open. I've been hanging out with the person back at home. From my understanding before the show, when they were casting for Paradise, Demi was very open with the producers when they were like, hey, Demi, do you want to go on the show? And she's like, well, sure, I'm open to it, but just so you know, I've been hanging out with this person who happens to be a woman.
How do you know that? She said that in the beginning.
Yeah, it was on the show. I mean, they talk about it on the show. So you just have to, the two no-nos on Bachelor in Paradise are, one, lying. More than anything, when you're lying to the producers and you're lying to cast members about the things that are going on in your life, that's the first way to get in trouble. And two, it's to basically be wishy-washy, to not to go after two people at the same time.
Well,
those are the two biggest no-nos in Paradise.
She was literally in that van at the beginning of Hannah's season trying to figure out who had girlfriends back home.
It's a different show. I'm not saying it's necessarily okay, but what I'm saying is one person lied, one person didn't. Let's say, for example,
Derek?
If Jed came, if you could make the argument that Derek, I guess, is Derek is maybe the one person who is he's kind of collateral damage.
Yeah, poor
right?
Derek.
Also, Derek's going to be fine, but also she's been pretty upfront with Derek too. What I'm saying is that had Jed showed up and right off the bat, because think back of the season when Jed kind of sat down and had this first date with Hannah, he's like, hey, I just want to be real with you. I came here for the fame kind of thing.
Different.
And he had told the half truth. What if Jed said the truth on his date? I've been hanging out with this girl, and technically she's not my girlfriend, and just said the truth.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, including Hannah, it would have been drama, and there would have been opinions on both sides, and Jed would have got his criticism, but I'm pretty sure he would have been in the clear. He would have gotten a lot of credit from people saying, you know what, I get it, but he's honest, and now I believe him because he didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He just kept lying. Demi, on the other hand, has been, listen, the producers casted her knowing that she was seeing someone back home. She wasn't.
Why did they do that?
She wasn't.
Why did they cast her?
She wasn't in a committed relationship.
Not committed? It seems committed.
They're not. They weren't.
Why was she so pissed at her when she came back? She was angry. She said, "I felt angry."
I don't know. I can't break it. I don't know the details of their exact relationship. All I'm saying is that she was hanging out with some. Everyone back who goes go on Paradise has been hanging out with some. Blake's been fucking half the people in the cast.
Okay.
All the people have been hanging out with people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you can't have a season if you expect everyone to go from their season to not talking to anyone. And so
I think they would have cast another person if they were like, hey,
what do you mean?
If Derek was like, yeah, I have a girl I've been seeing pretty seriously, would they still have let him come on if he was honest?
Yeah. I mean, listen, Demi is not the first person who's gone to the cast and said, "Oh, I've been kind of hanging out with someone," and then they will be like, "Well, what do you mean hanging out? Are you like engaged? Are you committed? Are you boyfriend and girlfriend? Are you living with each other?" If you're hanging out, I mean, there's a lot of gray area.
My only argument is this Christian woman, when she came on, she seemed like so intense, and they seemed very intense.
Maybe she's an intense person.
Like, what if they agreed before Demi came on, I'm going to meet you there. You know what I mean? And she was upset that she had like made out with Derek or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know the details of that, but let's say also just for argument's sake, but like this whole storyline of Demi in the first kind of, gay relationship in any type of Bachelor official kind of gay relationship.
And a hot makeout.
It was hot. It was like,
really
honestly, I got a little choked up when
I cried.
I got a little choked up when Demi was when they saw each other.
Did too.
It was a great moment. And so for argument's sake, for all the people who are like the righteous Bachelor fans who are like, that's not okay. Like, listen, she was honest. Like, who gives a shit? This is good for the franchise. Right. This is good for the show. This is good for society in terms of like just being more kind of a network television show that's become kind of a cornerstone of pop culture. The Bachelor is now finally having its kind of openly gay talked about relationship. So God forbid it's a little bit like, oh my God, like they broke. There are only rules in paradise, or there are no rules, and just don't lie. Again, like don't throw
the show down the stairs.
The show's been on for like 6 seasons. Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my, so this cardinal rule. And like, for as far as Tanner is concerned, like I get it, but like whatever. Like I mean, listen, I love Tanner and Jade, and they have an amazing relationship. And I get from Tanner's point of view, it's just like all these people like, you know, coming in with a plan. Yeah, it is annoying. I totally agree with that. But it is a different show. Social media wasn't what it was. There will never be, in that sense, another Tanner and Jade, and that's good for them because it was so kind of authentic. And now people are trying to recreate the Jade and Tanner story, and they've just had their second child. I mean, like the Blake and Hannah situation, it's the same thing. What's like everyone's doing this. I'm not saying it's okay, but with social media and everyone's moving to LA after their first season, everyone's hanging out, everyone's hooking up, everyone's going with their plan. They now have these managers and social media like reps that are like trying to coordinate these relationships. I heard rumors that the Blake and Hannah thing were kind of like his whole visit to Alabama was kind of set up by the person who's like repping their social media accounts.
What?
I mean, I heard rumors, but like,
see, don't you think this is the beginning of the end of the franchise? Like, it's so.
Do I think it's the beginning of the end? No, I think it's something they will continue. Listen, usually the inauthenticity is flushed out, so to speak, right? Just like the Blake and Hannah thing. I think the producers do a pretty good job, as much as they can, of flushing out kind of the bullshit. Well, Rochelle, now that you're part of the Article family of furniture,
I just got my couch.
We all have
I got
Article
this
couches.
One. All three of us.
Yeah, I know, crazy. We
Sugar
didn't
and I have
know.
been Article
This is a
customers for a couple years now.
Yeah.
You guys have the blue velvet couch.
We do.
I got this Ven Charm tan sofa. Do you see it?
Gorgeous.
Isn't that cool?
So cool.
Because I looked on Instagram, like the hashtag my article, and they all had this couch and they made it look really cute. That's why I picked it.
So cute.
Thank you.
And comfortable too, huh?
Very comfortable. Customer service was great. They came and dropped it off at my place and they were really helpful.
They have really cool furniture. It's very modern. It's fashionable. It's the easiest way to buy beautiful modern furniture. It's kind of has a modern, that's the thing. It's like all very, has a modernish feel to it.
Yes.
It's great quality. I've had mine for a couple years now. It's holding up lovely. Shug has the same couch.
Amazing.
She has a dog. Looks great.
Yeah.
Rochelle has a new one. I mean, I'm assuming it's still in great condition.
Yeah, it is.
Modern furniture dedicated to a modern aesthetic and Scandinavian simplicity. It's fast. It's affordable. It's wonderful. They have a 30-day return policy with simple returns and exchanges. That is amazing. How do you get your article today? Well, let me tell you. Article is offering our listeners $50 off their first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/Viall, Viall. Go to article.com/Viall, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/Viall, Viall, to get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
How exciting. There's a rocking chair there that I really want that I will soon purchase with that discount.
I know I have like a 5-item wish list already.
Very excited about Embark because of our friend Oliver here.
Yes, who's in studio with us right now. Oliver, come.
Oliver is one of the
Oliver.
most beautiful dogs I've ever seen, and every time I'm hanging out with Shug and Oliver, people come up to Shug and ask him, what kind of dog is that?
Where
And
did
Shug's
you-
like, I don't know. I got him on Craigslist.
Wait, you really got him on Craigslist?
Which is awesome, by the way. She rescued a dog and Craigslist. I mean, it's more awesome. He's the best looking dog I've ever seen in my life.
He's
What's
a
the
beautiful
story?
boy. He's just to describe him in case you haven't seen him. Please go check out my Instagram or his,
Or
really.
mine,
But
yeah.
mine is Shug Lynn, or check out Nick's.
Check out
It's
Shug.
true.
Check
He
out
steals them for this.
I
very
absolutely do. Beautiful.
But he has blue eyes, and he's definitely got some husky in him. And I was his third family when I got him on Craigslist. So he was looking for a rehome, and so his story, his like life story, was kind of a broken telephone situation, and they didn't really know his history. And so this is actually very exciting for us because we are going to try Embark Breed and Health Kit.
Yeah, because it's going to tell you exactly like what kind of dog is he, give him background about him. That's fascinating. So now when people ask you, what is he? You can be like, he's 25% whatever.
And it even tells you like what country they come from.
And they're going to tell you like and if Oliver is prone to any health conditions, it gives him updates on that. So you can be proactive rather than reactive with his health.
And
which for all you like dog lovers out there, you'd always want to know.
Yeah, and so helpful for behavioral things too, because
understand your dog.
Yeah, understanding like how they need to be trained, because dogs are so different. And I've raised a pit bull before, but raising this guy, I've raised a pit bull and a Pomsky, and Oliver is so different than any dog I've ever known. So I would love to know some history on his sweet and very distant behavior sometimes.
Right now, for our listeners, Embark has an exclusive summer offer you can't get anywhere else. Go to embarkvet.com and use promo code Viall to save 15% off your dog DNA kit. Discover your dog more than fur deep. Visit embarkvet.com and use promo code Viall to save. It is a TV show. Let's not forget that, like, it is a TV show, and for it to be entertaining, producers do have to produce and create situations that are compelling and interesting for us to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do we have to get so righteous about our Bachelor situations that we can't just sit back and watch the show and just be happy for this really great relationship? And listen, is Derek maybe somewhat collateral damage? Fine.
Poor
but like,
Derek.
I mean, again, I do think Demi was, I think Demi went in there. I think what you're seeing is really authentic in the sense that maybe Demi was seeing someone back at home, and maybe there was a discussion about maybe this person might come on, but let's just have you go, Demi, as a traditional Bachelor in Paradise contestant, and just be open to what's down there. Someone who's also attracted to men and women,
right?
And then she meets Derek, and she's like kind of surprised about how this nice guy that she's hanging out with him, and what is so inauthentic about that? It seems like that's pretty much what happened, where she liked Derek, but she was still thinking about Christian back at home, and then they brought her on. That's pretty much what happened, and it's far more authentic than this other stuff. So I'm definitely more team Demi here. I get Tanner's point of view, but like, whatever. It's not the same as Jed, because Jed lied to producers, lied to Hannah. It's also way more stakes to come in with a girlfriend and try to date the one person who has the expectation to end the relationship, where no one who goes in Paradise, not Derek, not Demi, not anyone, is going to leave Paradise single and have America being like, you wasted your opportunity, or blah, 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 the stuff that happens all the time on those seasons. So that is my 2 cents about that.
And bravo to ABC for,
I think it's
really
great.
incredible. Yeah.
What else Bachelor in Paradise wise?
Well, oh my gosh, when Christina gave Blake her rose, and the music,
the soundtrack was amazing.
The soundtrack was like dun 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 dun.
I know you last week. You said that you thought Dylan was soft. What did you actually? You were a little harsh. You called him what?
Stage 5 clinger.
You still think he's a stage 5 clinger?
Yes.
Why?
I don't. I don't, does he even know who she is? And he's so all in.
I think there's only two options as a viewer that you can view. Either Dylan is not necessarily a stage 5 clinger, but a little in love too quickly, or Hannah's a terrible person. Because
what? How is Hannah terrible?
I'm saying there's two options, right? Because, and one option is there's the argument that we're not seeing everything. No, we never get to see everything because they can't show everything. So the question is there more to Dylan and Hannah's relationship that we're not seeing?
All we're
which
seeing
is why
puppy dog.
So why Derek is maybe advancing, why Derek's already falling in love, and why he's just there and he's just crying about potentially going home, and all we've really seen is those two kind of hang out a few times and talk, and meanwhile he's kind of burying his face in her armpit. And
yes, burying his face.
What we're seeing,
yes.
I'm saying, I agree with you. What we're seeing is like not enough to justify why Dylan is so like obsessed with Hannah. I agree.
Besides the fact she looks like a Disney princess.
But we could easily not be seeing all the times they hung out. We could easily not see that. Or what I'm saying is, and so if there is more to it, so I agree with you. Maybe Dylan is a little much based on what we're seeing.
Yeah.
If there is more to it, if they are spending almost the entire day together and she's saying things to him that they're just deciding not to air for whatever reason, then she's totally, she already looks bad. Making out with Blake 20 feet from him, jumping into his arms.
Oh my gosh, can you believe Blake said, I just want to remind you why you have a crush on me?
I gotta say, and again, I have no problem with Blake as the guy. Obviously, I've been critical of the text, and hey, just owning that you just had a lot of sex. But man, does he come off incredibly cheesy and creepy, and his inflections are so forced and just if
manic, he's manic.
My non-vagina, if I had one,
wait,
was shriveling up and just
your scrotum was shriveling.
Yeah, how sometimes one of my female friends will talk about how my vagina just went and was sucked up and dried up, and I'm watching it without a vagina.
Oh my gosh,
just how unfuckable I would want to be in that moment if Blake was bringing a mariachi band, and then what did he say? He brought the mariachi band, and he's like, yep, I'm the greatest or something.
No.
He was just so giddy with himself, and then his whole dancing thing is cheesy.
Oh.
I give Dylan a lot of credit for being no, I'm fucking watching this.
I don't know.
There's truth somewhere in the middle.
Masochism there.
What? What's wrong with that? I don't know.
Wait, Jen Sav showed up. This is what I was excited to talk to you about.
Why?
Because you dated her on Paradise
2 years ago. I haven't seen or spoken with her since.
Wait, you stopped talking after Paradise?
No, we talked after Paradise a little bit, and then once I became the Bachelor, I told her I was a Bachelor, and we stopped talking.
Right.
We weren't in a relationship.
You haven't DM'd or anything?
We haven't had any communication. I think on New Year's Eve, she posted a picture, and I commented because I was just being a fucker, and I basically I said something about her looking good or something.
Oh no.
I've had no,
Is there any future?
It sounds like she met also. She had it sounds like her and Blake
at Stagecoach
hung out.
They should just do Bachelor in Paradise at Stagecoach. It sounds like get some cameras there.
Maybe not anymore. So yeah, Christina, dude, I actually loved the Christina and Caitlyn scene. Was awesome.
I hated that scene.
Why?
I freaking hated that scene.
It was
Caitlyn just was so mean.
Oh
also,
you were team Christina?
I'm team neither. I hate talking to someone and they're like, "Wow, you're impossible. Wow, you are going."
She was being impossible. She was having a conversation with Christina, and Christina was just going off on her, and she was just
Caitlyn was
wow.
mean girling her for sure.
Wow, totally disagree.
Wow, okay.
Christina was mean girling her.
Christina was out of line for sure, but I didn't like you can't have a conversation with someone who's just like, wow, you're off the rails. Like
she was trying to have a conversation with Christina.
I disagree.
Christina was like,
she's trying to intimidate Christina.
literally the opposite. Christina has been this like long time standing Bachelor contestant. She's been arguably a fan favorite. She's been fairly manipulative with these relationships. And here's this like newbie who had almost no time on her Bachelor season, comes in late, middle of the season, is, you know, dating the reject Blake at this point.
The reject.
And she's just like, she kind of talks to her, and you think Caitlyn is mean girl. You think Caitlyn's flexing her power over Christina?
I just didn't like the way she was. I didn't like her. Yeah. I felt like it was a power struggle. That it was an interesting.
It was definitely a power struggle. I just think like I thought like Christina, Caitlyn was being like, "Hey, I'm liking this guy.
Yeah,
I'm trying to pursue a relationship, and you seem to be convincing him to like give you a friendship rose just so you can stick around." I mean, listen, fine if you want to stick around, and good for Christina for owning that, but it absolutely, if we're talking about righteous Bachelor fans, it definitely goes against the playbook of like, listen,
yeah,
there's people every.
I agree.
On
with
my
that.
season,
they shouldn't give friendship.
On my season, there was an episode like episode 2 or 3 before Jen showed up, and like Amanda was with Josh at this point, and like we're going into rose ceremony, and you know how every rose ceremony, it's just like certain people go in being like, yeah, you're giving me a rose, and I'm fine, and there's always like 2 or 3 roses up for grabs, so to speak, and I was kind of going to this rose ceremony like, well, I don't know who's giving me this rose, and so I think it was Carly and Haley, and there was someone else, and I was kind of like, what do I have to do here? Like, what are we talking about? Like, and it was kind of a joke in terms of like, it was all very playful, and it wasn't like I wasn't like, I was very open. Like, if you want to give this to me as a friend, I will take it.
That's
but
part of the game.
You got to pursue a relationship. That is not what Christina is doing.
Yeah, right. She's cock block Christina.
100%.
New nickname.
I think Christina's getting an accurate edit.
An accurate edit, yeah. Also, why is there so much vomit this season? I'm not into it.
I don't know, because
John Paul Jones is like so gag reflexy.
Maybe he has a.
Anyway, there's so
look
much.
Odd there. Wow.
Okay, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You guys look good together.
I look angry.
You look like the Wolverine or something.
I'm jacked. What else did we cover pretty much everything?
Well, like when he threw Christian down the stairs.
Oh, the fight between him and Jordan.
Yeah, and then Jordan like body slammed himself. I'm like, you hurt yourself.
I mean, that Christian guy kind of seems like a douchebag, and I've heard some stuff how he's just kind of but yeah. I mean, quite honestly, in that specific situation,
yeah,
Jordan was totally wrong.
Yeah, like
here's this Jordan guy trying to like date this other girl, and Jordan, I mean, this idea he wanted to be a good friend. What?
Yeah.
Jordan was totally wrong.
Yeah.
100% wrong. Yeah. And it was like, I mean, listen, I'm glad they just kicked them both out.
I know.
It just got stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy might suck, and I haven't it doesn't seem like anyone in the cast seems to really care for him. But in that specific situation,
yeah,
I think Jordan was totally out of line.
But thank God Clay came out on top. What a beautiful man. You don't like Clay?
I think he's great. I think it's just so funny. We talked about this last week. Even you're critical of Dylan, but like you have these Clay and Dylan guys that, for the most part, seems like America, and rightfully so, is really enjoying these nice guys. And in life, I feel like these are the guys that always get turned down.
Clay would not get turned down by anybody. Are you kidding me? He's gorgeous.
He's getting turned down left and right in Paradise.
Clay? Oh man, we're in the weeds.
She literally is like leaving. Like Clay, she liked this other Christian guy better. She was open to Jordan. Clay was like the nice guy who kept sticking around. And oh, by the way, one of the worst lines that someone can say to you, and it's total bullshit. I want to do this new bit. I haven't thought about it. Is like things that sound nice that are actually stupid. When someone says, "I always knew it would be you." Really? Did you always know that? Did you know that when you were fucking someone else?
Yeah.
Did you know that when you were doing God knows what? Like, it's fine that one of the guys she was into, and maybe she was going to end up with Clay, but the dude got kicked off the show. She was definitely more into that guy. Mm-hmm. Clay was the nice guy who was finishing last, so to speak, in that scenario. And Clay is a nice, good-looking guy, but no, like, the women down there are not that into him. It's obvious. And I don't know about real life, but like he is a really nice guy. You would seem on paper, a lot of people would want to date him, and maybe they do. But like, I think this Paradise is a perfect representation of, here's this kind of Christian guy who's comes across a little douchey and a little arrogant and a little cocky and bad boyish, so to speak. And he swoops in and gets the girl, and Clay's the one like, the Dylan watching again. Blake might be the douchey guy, but the assertive guy who, the women seem to be going after these guys. I think it's interesting, and we should all ask ourselves why.
Let's all ask ourselves.
So wait, just one more final thoughts. You're in the Dylan versus Hannah. You're more team Hannah.
No, I don't think they're a good match.
That might be true. I'm just saying.
I don't think you should ever be with someone who puts you on a pedestal, because no one deserves to be on a pedestal.
I listen. I totally agree. It seems a little off how into Hannah Dylan is.
Yeah,
we might not be seeing everything, and that's probably true. He also might be just a little too into her at this point. I'm curious. I would if I ever got to. I don't know if we'd ever get an honest answer from Dylan, but I'm really curious what Dylan thinks about his relationship with Hannah now, and then as he's watching back. Like, I don't know what happens the rest of the season, but like, is Dylan watching this thinking I'm an idiot, or why would I feel like a fool watching him be so into Hannah while she's doing what she's doing?
Yeah.
And so kind of, I mean, it just comes across as Hannah is just trying to figure out who she should be in a relationship specific for Paradise.
Right.
Hannah's intentions come across incredibly disingenuous.
Oh yeah.
Incredibly. And Dylan, say what you want, seems incredibly sincere, whether he's a stage 5 clinger or not.
Right.
So and to that point, that feels awkward.
But she made her choice now. She chose.
She did, but like, she made her choice, but it still seems she made her choice because she had to make a choice. And now I feel like all her friends are like, you need to make a choice and you're going to start looking bad. And now it's like, she's smart enough to realize I have to make a choice. And it feels like it's 100% for show purposes and 0% for her own.
It doesn't.
Her own, like, her life.
Although when those Aztec dancers all ran out, like, that was phenomenal. I got choked up. There were so many dancers. You didn't care?
That was great.
You didn't care.
That was neat.
The production value
was wonderful. Yes. I mean, that was great. Whatever. Anyway, wow. What, so many thoughts. Well, yeah. Another great week. I guess we'll see what happened, what drama unfolds next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm glad the show is doing what they're doing with Demi. I think it is a sincere situation, and I think the show has handled it as best they could. And sometimes you have to make things happen to enforce change and great new things.
Yes,
and I think that's a great thing. And I think everyone else should just maybe chill out.
Good point. Let's all chill out a little bit.
All right. Well, so much Bachelor in Paradise. Can't wait to next week.
Yeah.
Up next, Andrea Russett. I think you'll really enjoy this. A lot of fuck buddies and relationship stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Andrea Russett.
That's me.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So good to have you here.
Good to be here.
For all of the people who don't know who you are, which is not many.
Not many.
It's how might people know you? I think you're going through a transitional period where you don't know. It's like, we know how people know you, but we want people.
I don't know how to describe myself.
Andrea has been a popular influencer of the internet for some time. She is a YouTuber, although she's transitioning
to music.
She's an incredible singer.
Thank you.
I found this out by following her on Instagram.
Yes, and you should too.
Andrea and I met at the Streamy Awards.
We did.
Which is an award ceremony put on by Dick Clark Production.
Sure.
I know this. That's because that's why I was there.
Cool.
And I presented an award.
You did?
I did. And I was sat at the table with Andrea, who was there to potentially win an award.
And I did not.
Well, because
Which is fine.
Your heart's not in it. But Andrea and I became friends after that. I find her to be interesting and honest and authentic. And we talk a lot about relationships on this show. She's also a Bachelor fan.
I am. Die hard.
We'll get in her 2 cents in a bit. But Andrea and I were talking about relationships, and we talk a lot about fuck buddies.
Oh boy.
Talk about fuck boys. And Andrea told me something interesting not too long ago, that you've only been on one actual date in your life.
That is correct.
What do you mean by what when you say that? How would you describe an actual date that you feel confident enough to say I've only been on one?
A date is like going to dinner with someone that you're not already dating, right?
Yes, it's like you meet someone and say, "Hey, I want to get to know you." Maybe you met them out, and
so
does it have to be dinner?
No, it could be like going to a movie, whatever. I've been on one date and it was dinner.
What about coffee?
No.
Would that be a date?
No.
That wouldn't be a date.
If that's a date, then we went on a date. We got coffee.
No, we got coffee with a specific agenda to talk about a work topic.
So, okay, yeah. I've been on one date. I've been on one date, and it was dinner, and it led to a relationship, and it was the worst relationship of my life. It
didn't lead to a relationship.
And so that's why I've never gone on one after that.
How long ago was that?
A couple years ago.
And then you did it for that person for how long?
Like 6 months.
And then how long ago did you end that relationship?
Years. Like probably 2 years ago now.
2 years ago. And since then, you've been on 0 dates.
Not a single date.
But you are getting laid.
Yes.
How is that happening?
You can get laid without going on dates.
No, I understand that, but what are you doing to meet people then? Because I know that you are all jokes aside, you I think would prefer to be in a relationship if you found the right person.
No, I wouldn't. I do not have any desire to be in a relationship. Ever. I mean, I'm sure maybe like when I'm 10 years from now, maybe, but I have no desire to be in a relationship. I have no desire to settle down. Like I have so much going on in my own life that I'd rather just have hookups.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like that's the responsible thing to do.
I'm not knocking it or anything. But so when you meet people to hook up, how are you talking to someone right now?
Like I'm
romantically.
Yes.
And then you also have, and you mentioned earlier that you have this long-term fuck buddy.
I do. 6 years going strong.
You have a 6-year fuck buddy.
Yes. He's the only person.
Let's get into that in a second.
Okay.
That's interesting. But you're also talking to someone.
Well, when I find someone that I actually like and I'm talking to, then I don't.
I get that.
Hook up.
We'll get to that in a second. But the person who you're talking to romantically, what is your goal for this? I've learned this term, situationship. Shoot. It's a word with too many S's, and I just fuck.
It's okay. You did great.
A situationship, which apparently, according to the internet, I was Googling like fuck buddies and things like that. A situationship, it's I think a new millennial term.
Yes.
Is essentially a relationship that hasn't been defined. So anything that precedes the define the relationship conversation, but follows the initial first date. So you are in a situationship with.
I don't know if I'd call it that.
You're not.
Well,
How'd you meet?
I don't want to be too specific.
Don't be too specific. Like you be generally.
We met in an environment.
Okay, I don't need a name of a place. But you met out.
We were out.
Mutual friends.
Yeah, we met through mutual friends.
Great answer. And then what happened next? Did you immediately hook up?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so great. So you flirted, you had fun.
Yes.
How did you guys hang out again? Did you exchange numbers?
Yes.
Okay, and then when was the next time you hung out?
Like 2 days later.
And what'd you do?
Just hung out.
Where?
You're killing me here.
What I'm saying is, how is that not a date?
Well, is it a date if you go to their house and to hang out?
That's a great question.
Right? It's not. Because it's casual. You're just hanging out.
So if you meet someone out and they say, you know what, do you want to basically Netflix and chill? Not necessarily, but all jokes, that's like, come on. Hey, listen.
Come on over.
I'm not really doing anything. I'm being lazy. If you want to stop by, I'm here. The TV's on. I got
It was more than that.
got
It
a
was
pot
like,
roast on the stove.
Is this how you do it?
Yeah. Like there's a pot roast or something.
That's how you get them. Pot roast. It wasn't just like a, hey, you want to come on over? It was like, we're going to do this, this, and this.
What was the this, and this? Help our audience out here because
I'm
again,
just really praying that he doesn't come across this.
I don't think he listens to this podcast. Also, no one would who's figuring anything out
know,
by
dude.
like
my followers are like FBI. They're gonna know.
That's true. Well, I don't like. So you went. What did he suggest you do when you hung out? I guess paint. Great. I've had people suggest that we paint because painting.
But is that a
paint
date?
therapy? I would say come over and let's paint is kind of a date. It's better, because it's kind of like cute and romantic, and it's a thing you can do together and spend time. I feel like that's kind of a date.
Okay, fine. It's a date. I went on a date.
And then what? After you painted, then you had sex?
No.
Have you slept with this person yet? Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Real situationship there. Yeah. How many times? So the next time you hung out after that?
We haven't.
You haven't?
No, we're supposed to hang out tomorrow.
How often do you guys communicate via text in between? A lot throughout the day. Throughout the day?
Yeah, like all day.
This is.
I know.
Wow.
It's a situation.
But here's my question then. Let's say you hang out again and it goes really well. For someone who said, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm focused on my life and my career and my transition from YouTube to singing. And he's just like, I really like you. What if he tries to define the relationship? What are you going to do?
Run as fast as I can.
Why?
No, I'm not going to. If he did, I feel like I would be down.
To date?
Yeah.
Why do people say things that do you say you don't want a relationship because you're afraid to say you want to be in a relationship? A lot of people do that. I
didn't want to be in a relationship because I've had really bad experiences with every relationship. So why would I want to do that again?
Why can't you say, as someone who is at a point in their life where they have so many options, right? You're young. And I'm saying like, for me, it's like, fuck, I gotta, at some point, I'm just going to be like,
that'll do.
That you wanna, No, I'm kidding. But as you get older, you feel the pressure, but it's all like relative.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, you are really young and you have a lot of options. You could, to your point, say, I'm not going to be in a relationship for 5 or 6 years. If let's say it just doesn't happen for the people who are younger out there, it just doesn't happen. That's like fine because you're still going to be like super young, and then you focus on your career, and then you settle down in your late 20s, early 30s. Totally normal, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but here, why can't you just be open to the possibility of meeting someone when it happens, and then if it does happen, then
if it happens, it happens. But
are you afraid? Like I think there's a lot of people like you who are afraid to put it out there in the world that they would be open to being in a great relationship.
If it's a great relationship, sure, but I have no expectations at all.
That's great. That's super healthy.
Right?
Why should you have expectations?
You shouldn't.
You should just go in and be like, this guy's really good at painting.
Exactly. And whatever happens, happens.
So
I don't want to define it. There's no need to define it. There's no need for a very long time.
The defining is that
I don't want to put a label.
Why are we doing that these days? We are becoming more and more afraid. Why are things like situationships becoming a word?
Because like when you define it, it makes it real and like serious, and then it's like, we're dating.
But then,
I just want to have fun.
Fine, but okay, for someone who's had this long-term fuck buddy, at what point? Because defining the relationship is all about knowing you're on the same page, and unless you are someone who's say into like what's the difference between this guy, who you talked about liking and all besides having to define it, would date him?
Yeah.
What's the difference between him and this long-term fuck buddy, assuming you eventually sleep with said new guy?
I view the new guy romantically. Like My fuck buddy is just, it's all physical. Like I wouldn't date.
I get that. But so what I'm saying is most people I find when it comes to not wanting to define the relationship is wanting to not be confused about where they stand. And that confusion comes mostly with, are you going to be fucking anyone else or...
Well, I don't care if he's fucking other people.
The new guy.
Yeah, I mean, do your thing. I don't give a shit.
Not right now, but eventually you're like always open. Well, when you start really developing feelings, when you're like, I need to paint with you all the time.
Oh, God. I just hate, like, see this stuff, like... the defining, the like, are you talking to other people? I just hate all of it. Like, I just want everybody to just do their thing, have fun. And if it turns into something, then it does. But we don't need to not jump the gun.
No one's talking about jumping the gun. I'm just saying.
Like right now, if he's hooking up with people, I couldn't care less.
That's normal. Fine. That makes sense because you've only been on one maybe date.
Maybe.
We think it's a date. We're
don't
pretty sure
know.
it's a date.
We don't
You
need
don't
to
like
call
calling
it
a date. But you've only hung out once. So totally normal for you to, like, you're not thinking about it, but you realize, hey, listen, I'm in no place to, if he had a date last night and slept with someone, I mean, I can't necessarily get mad.
Do your thing.
But for someone who is, you're glowing a little bit when you talk about it, you're showing some excitement. At what point would it bother you? Like, again, if you keep hanging out with this person, you even said, I think about this person romantically. So will you want to, like, that's for the people out there listening, at what point do you get that kind of urge to, where would you feel insecure about whether he's going on dates and sleeping with other people?
I don't know. I don't know if I would get to that point.
Ever.
I mean, I'm sure I would at some point, but I feel like it would take a long time.
Okay, that's fine. But like your other boyfriend, when did you get to that point?
Pretty quickly.
Do you think you still have some baggage from your first relationship?
Issues? Yes, 1,000 without a doubt in my mind.
You want to dive into that? Because I'm sensing there's a lot of things you're quick to say because it gives you anxiety, and then you just don't want to deal with the things that you're really feeling in the inside.
This is feeling a lot like my therapy session.
We can stop it.
Look, I'm on the couch, you have a chair. This is therapy.
That's what we do here.
I love it. Can I come back every week?
We'll see. It depends how forthcoming you are here.
Oh, boy.
No, because, like, again, I've gotten to know you a little bit. You're a wonderful, charming person. But you clearly like this guy. I can see it. You're excited. And yet I'm keep getting these signs of, I don't care. You're like afraid to get hurt.
Well, yeah. Isn't everyone?
Sure. But why can't we just be open? You and I actually had this debate. Like, you feel like why, and we didn't really come to a conclusion. You don't appreciate heartbreak. I don't feel like.
I don't ever want to experience that ever again. That's the thing. I literally I can't.
You don't think it'll get better?
No.
What?
I do remember this debate we had.
Yeah. And I'm of the theory that, like, listen, that your first heartbreak is terrible. It's terrible because you've never felt it before. So when you have your first heartbreak and you wake up and that anxiety you feel when you wake up and that like it literally feels like it's like a gas tank of anxiety filling up your body.
But I've had multiples of that.
Like the same person?
No. Different people. But it was like equally bad. So
sure. But again, the initial feeling is always painful, especially if you gave a shit. But the difference between the first time and then every other time is the idea that you'll get over it. That you will move on.
Yeah, I'll get over it.
And that first time you have heartbreak is truly terrible because when you're like, I will never get over this, you feel that to be true because you don't know, you've never felt love before, then you've never felt heartbreak before. So this feeling is, it'll never go away.
I agree.
You literally can't imagine your life without them. And then eventually time goes on, you move on, and then you're like, your just mindset knows, listen, that sucked. I don't want to experience that again, but at least I know I can.
No.
You've never gotten to that point.
I for sure agree that like you get over it. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you forget it. Like, I'm over it. I don't care about the past
you don't have to,
shit anymore. But I don't want to relive that ever again. So
you would rather be honest. Don't just like be like.
No, I'll be
you would rather just be alone forever than the
I think
risk
about this all the time.
than risk maybe hurting for a month if it doesn't work out.
It wouldn't be a month.
Sure, it would. It always gets shorter.
I wouldn't know. But
I don't mean to sound condescending and older, but like again, I remember like my first heartbreak with this girl, and there were a couple times with the same person, and then there were a couple more, and then I ended relationships. But even if you love someone, you end the relationship. There's heartbreak there.
Yeah.
I just remember always having that thought of consciously telling myself, this really sucks. I feel a lot of pain right now.
Yeah.
But I know it'll pass. And that conscious thought, just knowing that made me feel a lot better.
I guess.
And you don't think that even at your worst, you will just have this thought of, I've done this before, I'll do it again.
I guess, yeah, eventually I could get there. But right now in my life, I just don't feel like I want to experience that ever again. Maybe that'll change. I'm sure it will. But right now, that's how I feel.
So what are you going to do about this guy then?
We're just going to see what happens. I don't want to have a plan. I just want to just let it happen.
I think that's really healthy to just let it happen. Right? Because the opposite too, when you're younger and your first time you fall in love is you're just like, you get so anxious and you're trying to force it and you're just like, we should, do you want to take a trip or like, we should get married and you start playing house a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do not want to do that.
I think that's very healthy. But then at some point, you're gonna start having these feelings, and then you guys will, and hopefully he does too, and there will be a lot of confusion eventually because one, if not both of you, will kind of want to know, like, are they not fucking? Or I'm pretty sure they're not. Your friends will be like, oh my god, so and so. It's like you guys are together, right? And you're like, and they'll be like, well, we haven't really talked about it, but he's not like sleeping with other people, right? And you'll be like, I don't think so. And then it will like get in your head and you're like, I'm pretty sure he's not. And then you will kind of like, well, I guess I don't know for sure. I mean, this happens all the time.
Well, yeah, no, that definitely does happen.
So, and you think when you get to that point, you will, out of risk of defining it because then it's real. And then what's the difference between that and, because you can't control your feelings. Once you have feelings, regardless if you define the relationship, you're going to potentially get your heart broken.
Yeah. I know that I'm saying all these things and I feel like I believe them, but I also know that it is coming from a place of like being hurt before. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that when I get to that point, I'm going to care enough and I'm going to want to be like, you're not sleeping with other people, right? But for now, for my peace of mind, I'd like to tell myself we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it.
I mean, can't there be stages in defining the relationship? Can't you say like you've been hanging out with someone? So for your example, and I want to get back to the fuck buddy, is that whether he doesn't necessarily need to know that you maybe shut the fuck buddy, you turn that spigot off for now.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's always there. He's there to literally serve a need when you're not getting it, and now maybe you will get it soon, so you're like, I'm gonna turn that spigot off. But what I'm saying is you can both as a couple just be like, listen, let's see where this goes.
Yeah,
I don't really want to sleep with anyone else. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to introduce you to my entire family. You know what I'm saying? There can be stages. You don't have to.
But why do you have to like vocalize it?
Because I think the biggest problem with relationships or situationships early on when there is confusion, right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Confusion of and like eventually confusion is like a virus that spreads and like takes over. It's like a cancer and it gets in your head, and the more because then again you have your friends being like, well, what?
I know.
Your friends, it's like friends tend to want to define the relationship for you before you even are maybe ready, and then you feel that pressure because you feel almost silly because, well, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like, oh, I saw him with so and so, and maybe it was like a platonic lunch with his sister, but they didn't know it's his sister, and they're like, well, I saw him with so and so, and like, you know, rumors start spreading, and then you feel stupid because again, you're just confused. You've never talked about it.
Communication is key.
I just feel like the reason to do that, to define certain stages in a relationship, is healthy because you have less confusion.
I mean, I haven't liked someone in quite a long time. So like this right now happening, me like liking this person, I'm still trying to figure it out because like
That's great.
So yeah.
I'm not saying you should like ask him if he wants to get married anytime soon, or
So
if he's
I
like,
should return the ring.
does he want kids or anything like that?
He does. He wants 2. We've already talked about it.
Oh,
Kidding.
I don't know. Maybe I feel like he wants kids.
No, I don't. We have not talked about that.
I feel like you should explore this more and be open to define the relationship.
I'm going to just let it happen and see where it goes.
So you have this fuck buddy
I have this fuck buddy.
for how many years?
6 years.
6 years. How did you meet this fuck buddy? Were you always fuck buddies? Was there ever a romantic time?
No.
Never.
Well, no.
For either of you.
We met at a party. Well, I can't speak for him. We met at a party.
Do you sense that maybe he was kind of low key in love at some point? Okay. Okay, that's good to know this information.
But we're back on the same page, so it's fine.
No, yeah. You've had to have talks. That's what I'm curious. Fuck buddies.
No. I never vocalized it of like, I see something happening here. I just kind of pulled away.
When you
gave it time.
You just disappeared.
Yeah. Very unhealthy. I know. Nick,
And
I
then-
know. Okay.
No, I'm not judging. Again, I
see the judgment.
I'm only having this conversation because there's so many people like with questions with Nick. I would say every 3 or 4 questions, it has to do with fuck buddies or friends with benefits.
Yeah.
And it's always this, I have feelings, or I think they have feelings, and that disconnect.
I feel like it's
but you've had this fuck buddy for 6 years.
Yeah, and like
how have you maintained this?
We joke about stuff like, oh, we're gonna like if we're both single at like 40, we'll get married.
Sure.
You know?
Right.
But we're it's like really good because like I'll help him with girls he likes, he'll help me with guys I like.
So you guys openly talk about
100%.
I think that's important if you're really gonna have a fuck buddy.
Yeah, and we
to be able to talk about your dating lives with each other.
100%.
It kind of sounds weird and fucked up, but if you are going to have a friend with benefits, and it's a real friends with benefits, and especially if you're the person who's certain you don't want a romantic relationship and you're not sure about how they are, you kind of have to like put it out there.
Yeah.
And get them comfortable with the idea.
Yeah. And like he's had a girlfriend in the last 6 years. I've dated people and like we just do our own thing, and then we still hang out. It's not like we hang out and we're just fucking the whole time.
No, I get so yeah, you're doing a lot of. That's also, I guess, a situationship.
No, we're like best friends.
How
that sleep
good is the
together
sex?
Sometimes it's pretty good. I mean, it's been 6 years. So.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like how many times have you had this fuck buddy who you've been having sex with a long time?
Like how many times have we slept together?
No, I don't need to know that. That's weird. But you've dated people in between.
Yeah.
And you've had sex in between with people you've dated. Because you've had sex with this friends with benefit for so long, and it's probably gotten pretty good, and there's a comfort level there that no one you're sleeping with in between can compete with. Have you struggled with that in terms of wanting like the sex being noticeably better with the other guy?
No.
Just because of familiarity?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think about that. Like, no, I mean, no, not really. I just not.
Never.
No.
So it's not that good, or everyone
good,
you're
like,
sleeping with is just like really great. That's
it's definitely not the case. But I don't know. When I'm sleeping with people that aren't him, like not my fuck buddy, it's different because it's like a romantic thing. You know what I mean?
Do you? I mean,
no, you don't.
No, I guess what I'm saying is, so this is a common debate in terms of what women are in men and when they're having sex.
Yeah.
If there's a way
Making love.
Because you're having sex with your fuck buddy and it's truly
physical. Yes.
And when you are having sex with someone emotionally or you're emotionally interested, it's just
different.
It's just different.
Yeah.
I mean, as a guy, I know that there is a difference.
Yeah.
But
not that much of a difference.
Not like a ton of difference.
No, I'm not saying it's like a world of a difference. It's just different. It's like I don't feel like I can compare the two.
How can you? But I'm just talking about like your ability to get off. Doesn't that matter with someone who you're used to having sex with?
Yeah.
And like, I mean,
You can always teach people.
I'm talking about the first time. I'm just curious how complicated. Like it sounds like you have a pretty good beat on this whole like fuck buddy, that it doesn't in any way confuse your ability to continue to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
And do you think it's never fucked with him? Like, what have you, other than pulling away? So when you pulled away, when you felt like he was, you just left and came back, and then it was handled?
I think like I could kind of, it felt like he was getting a little emotionally involved about it. And so I just kind of like didn't hang out with him for a few months and was just like busier doing other things. And I think he sensed that I picked up on it. And then when we did hang out, it was just fine. Things tend to work themselves out.
Is that your approach?
That's what I tell myself.
What do you think? Do you ever hang out with the fuck buddy and never have sex?
Yeah. Oh my God, all the time. He's like one of my good friends.
Okay.
Oh my God, I hope no one can pick up on it.
When you, maybe not Mr. Painter, but hopefully.
Mr. Painter.
But let's assume, just for argument's sake.
Okay.
Mr. Painter's the guy. Or at least he's a guy. He's a guy that you're going to date romantically and maybe say things like, I love you to for a couple years. Will it work out forever? I don't know. But let's assume for the time being, you're going to start dating Mr. Painter. How is it going to affect your relationship with Mr. Friends with Benefits in terms of...
I don't think it would affect it at all. I think we would just be friends.
Would you tell Mr. Painter that he has been your fuck buddy for 6 years?
No. Why would I?
Well...
Because if
I have
all that would do would put like.
Would you lie about it?
I wouldn't lie, but it's not like
I have never dated a girl and things progressed in a relationship and have her introduce her to a female friend of mine, and if she thinks she's attractive, it doesn't take long to be like, did you ever fuck her?
Oh, really?
Without question. Like they see a girl and they see this comfort level.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she's beautiful. Like, how do you know each other?
Yeah.
So you never had sex. And I have, over the years, have a couple friends that we met initially, had some sex. And then it didn't, they weren't an ongoing Friends with Benefits, not like your situation.
Yeah.
But it was more like we had some sex. We dated for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. There was a gap in between. We just realized it wasn't going to go anywhere. And then we just kind of down the road became friends and stopped hooking up and again, talked about other relationships. But it can complicate things. In your situation, you have this ongoing thing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any guy wouldn't just be like, oh, you meet him. You're like, oh, this is, Bobby.
I wouldn't have a problem explaining it. But I think
do you think if Mr. New Guy was like, I'm gonna be honest, like, it makes me uncomfortable. And I don't want, like, even if he let's say he handled it in the most mature way, where he's just like, listen, I don't want to be jealous, and I don't want to tell you who you can and can't be friends with.
I would respect that.
But like you've like, you want to have lunch with them, or like again, even if you're totally telling the truth, would you stop hanging out with Friends with Benefits because if that's a struggle that people have.
It is a struggle. I feel like I would hear him and respect what he's saying, but I would also hope that he would trust my judgment.
Yeah, I mean it's tough.
It's a sticky situation.
What if he said at first, I'm just not there yet? Do you think you would try to respect that?
Yeah.
And then what would you say to Friends with Benefits?
I would tell him exactly that. He's just not comfortable with it.
We can't hang out for a while.
Yeah. Communication's key.
I think that's great. Do you think you'd ever a situation where you would lie about it?
No.
But you wouldn't tell him. So
I wouldn't go out of my way to be like, hey, what's up? By the way.
So wait, you don't think the omission of the truth, where do you draw the line between being asked and flat out lying or just not admitting to things? If you were, let's reverse the situation.
Okay.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
You guys start dating.
True.
And like yourself.
Yes.
Let's say you didn't have Mr. Fuck Buddy.
Okay.
You start dating.
Okay.
And he introduces you to Erica.
Okay.
And you're like, this is my friend Erica. And you don't think to ask, you don't want to ask, you don't want to sound jealous. And this is my good friend. And he's just like, yeah, we've always been pals. Just always been my buddy. And then you meet Erica, she's super nice to you. You guys are friends and whatever. And then 6 months down the road, you find out that they have had sex hundreds of times.
Hundreds.
And you found out from not either of them, but another mutual friend, like, oh yeah, they used to have sex all the time. And quite honestly, like Erica used to like him, and then he just kind of didn't give into that, and so she just kind of accepted that they weren't going to date, but they kept fucking until he met you.
See, when you put it
and you didn't hear from him, and you heard it from a third person.
Yeah.
How would you feel?
I wouldn't feel incredible. I wouldn't feel great about it. But
you feel like he misled you.
I wouldn't say the word misled. I mean,
you wouldn't feel manipulated a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. I feel like everything is super situational. I would definitely
well, that's why I'm giving you a situation.
God damn
in this situation, Andrea.
I don't know, Nick. Yeah, no, I would definitely be a little upset for sure.
When you make decisions about how you handle situations, do you think about the reverse situation ever?
I try to, but clearly I did not in this situation.
I mean, you're being a great sport, but I feel like sometimes in these sticky situations,
it is a very sticky situation. That's the thing. Like, no matter what decision I make, tell, don't tell, like, it's not going to be 100% smooth. If I tell him straight up, it's going to be uncomfortable, and then he's
not necessarily. You're telling me that, let's say, in the first situation, you wouldn't outwardly tell him, but if he happened to ask, you would be forthright. Yeah. And you admitted that if he was just listen, I want to get there, but I'm not really comfortable with you guys hanging out by yourselves. And maybe over time, if I get to know him and and him and I develop a rapport, maybe I'll get there. You would respect that.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is, why not then, if that's the situation, either way, you're going to respect how he feels about it. Why wouldn't you just be upfront and just say, hey, listen, I mean, not right away. I don't mean date next date.
No,
but
I know.
You get to the point, you define the relationship. Maybe he's never even heard or talked or met fuck buddy at this point. But you're just like, hey, listen, I feel like we're in a good situation. Can I be honest with you about something? I have a friend. He's a dear friend of mine. And when I've been single, we hooked up. I've known him for years. I want to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to feel about it. I want to respect how you feel. But he is a friend, and someone as a friend, I don't have romantic feelings for, but I hope that I can still be friends with. But why wouldn't you just say that and establish this trust right off the bat that you would come to him? Because either way, even if he says, thanks for sharing with me and I really respect you, but can we play it by ear, so to speak? And could you maybe not have dinner with him for a while?
For me, I didn't think about it that well. I mean, I still don't, but I feel that everyone has a past. Everybody slept with somebody. You know what I mean? So
I'm not saying, but
for me, if I would I wouldn't be that. It would make me a little uncomfortable for sure, and I'd feel a little bit iffy about it. But I wouldn't be upset. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
Not upset, but I'm saying, why not just let him know? Because either way, I'm saying establish that trust up front. Because you're like, well, I wouldn't tell him, but if you asked, I would. But
listen, Nick.
I'm just saying this.
This is why I'm single.
For the people listening, I think it's
everyone listening is going to be like, who the fuck is this dumbass bitch?
No, I think quite honestly, I think a lot of people listening will very much relate to how that sticky situation of I have this fuck buddy, but they're totally platonic, or or if it's not a fuck buddy, if that sticky situation of, well, if they don't ask me, I won't tell them because I don't want to get mad at them. Why people, you always use the excuse of, well, I didn't do this or say this because I didn't want to make them mad. It drives me nuts. Because it's such a bullshit excuse.
It is a bullshit excuse.
The truth is, you didn't know what to say. It felt awkward, so you just
It is awkward. It's just, that's what it is. It's avoiding it because it's uncomfortable and it's awkward, and I don't like that.
But people always end up...
the truth always comes out.
Well, not only that, but it makes it worse, and it makes it longer. Like it just drags it out.
Yeah, I know.
Again, like we're playing with these various situations, and most of them are like, well, down the road, like you could have just gotten it out of the way.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be double awkward.
I can't believe you're my therapist now. I love this.
I just like, we in this show, we like to find relatable situations that our people at home in a
Is
car.
this a relatable
they're just
situation?
like, you don't think so? Fuck
I know. I'm
buddies and
saying
fuck
I'm like,
boys?
no. I mean, mine specifically. I hope it's relatable.
I mean, yours
Help
is very
me,
unique.
people.
Yours is very unique that it's gone on for so long, which I think is fascinating because you've gone in and out. But like, oftentimes people have someone. I think it's happening more and more nowadays because younger people, dating's become less traditional.
Yeah.
The hookup culture is more prominent.
Yeah,
people
definitely.
are trying to find different ways to define the relationship, and as a result, they're having a bunch of sex with people they're not necessarily wanting to date, and then eventually they'll meet someone. And do you cut that person off? Do you value their friendship?
I've had other friends with benefits where I did cut them off.
Yeah.
But
I just think, and then you get in that sticky situation of confusion, and you don't tell them, and it's just like there's no worse feeling, I think, than feeling like two people knew something you didn't, and you know they would care, and even though they didn't necessarily lie to you, they didn't tell you.
Yeah,
that's a hard feeling to get over.
No,
you're just
100%.
like, for the past 6 months, we've all been hanging out. You both fucking knew this, and I didn't. Now I feel fucking stupid.
Yeah,
and that's a very hard situation to get over. No, they didn't tell you because they're like, well, we didn't want to hurt you. We didn't know what to say, and we didn't want to hurt you, and it was awkward, and it was just like.
See, this is why I don't like relationships. It's all this stuff, and like,
why can't you just be upfront first?
I can.
I know you can. You're a very honest person.
I am a very honest person.
I was hanging out with this girl, and she was talking about this guy she went on a date with, and she was like, "Oh my god, this was not." He was just. The way she described the date was harsh in the sense that she didn't have a great time. And she described him to be kind of super into her, almost to the point where she was slightly uncomfortable with like his intensity, which is fine, whatever. Yeah. He liked her. And then she's like, we went on a date a couple months ago. He keeps responding to me, and I don't write back. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that sounds aggressive.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you don't write back at all. And then she was describing these messages. I'm like, well, let me see these messages.
She was writing back.
Yeah, and I see the message. I'm like, well, you're clearly writing back.
Yeah.
You're not a tongue. He's clearly pursuing you, but you are responding. She's like, well, I didn't want to be mean. I'm like, well. And then we went back to the original message because she was like, well, he kind of asked for like a status of where we are, and her response was, listen. I'm just not looking to be in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
But we can be friends.
Yeah.
Total lie on her part because she's totally open to being in a relationship with someone she wants to be in a relationship with. She's also not really interested in being his friend.
I know, but sometimes you can't really say that to
Why
men.
not over text? Why not? Well, why can't you say that to men? I don't understand that.
Because that's a really
Hold on. Let me just finish. Here's what's happened with this situation. This guy
is gonna start a fight.
This guy now is just like, oh, she's not ready to be in a relationship. Oh,
men
but she's
don't take rejection
she's
well.
willing to be my friend. Great. I'll just be her friend until she's ready to be in a relationship, and I'll just slide right in.
Well, if she were to say something along the lines of, I'm not interested in you, I'm not saying he would react crazy, but there are a lot of men, and I'm sure women as well, but a lot of men that react in a very intense, harsh way that is scary.
Oh, via text? You send a text and say, hey, listen, I had a great time, but I'm just not...
He could read that and get angry and do something crazy.
Couldn't you just say, I'm not really feeling it?
You could say that, yeah, but men don't take rejection well sometimes. Like I've been in her position where I don't want to say something too harsh because of how they might react. That's something that you don't live with because you don't have that fear.
Maybe not, but like, what are do you see
the articles all the time of like man shot woman because she said no to a date? Like that's a real thing. I'm not saying it happens every day, and I'm not saying it'll happen.
Show me this article.
Are you serious? You've never seen those articles?
No, this is happening a lot.
Yes.
What really?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to this, but like
I'm not saying that that's like why everyone can't reject men.
Has it happened? Sure. Just counterpoint.
It's a fear I live with. I mean, I don't want to be too mean.
Here's what I would. I think when those situations, I don't know what articles you're referring to, but I would argue that people, men and women, don't like to be fucked with, right? And the more they feel like they're fucked with, and again, these people who are willing to do crazy shit are delusional already, right? So when you start leading them down a path, what I'm saying is, at the moment when you start in this situation, right? This person is just like, oh, we can be friends. And then she kind of keeps responding, but not. And even it's going to the point, it's like, oh, we should get together sometime soon. She has no interest in getting together with him, but just kind of stays in the moment to like appease him and not be a dick. Meanwhile, this person on the other end is just like, who knows what this delusional person is thinking? And be like, yeah, no, she's just like, we're like friends and like we talk and we test it. And she keeps saying she want to get together, but she's just super busy. So that's fine. But I'll just keep asking because she just keeps giving me enough. And then eventually she might just like date someone else or just kind of like be tired of it.
Yeah.
He's going to feel let on. And I'm not saying he has a right to react this way, but this miscommunication is what really, I think, bugs people when they feel like they've been lied to and misled and like, why didn't you just fucking tell me? I do think when you go on a date, guys and girls, men and women should, if you don't have a good time and the other person, listen, if you go on one date, the ghosting, not ghosting, I don't think one date you are required to like, you could just not respond. You could just not reach out again.
Yeah.
Most people like, you can kind of sense it. No one reaches out with each other and you guys move on with your life. But if one person keeps saying, I had a great time, let's hang out again, and you're not feeling it, why can't you just say, hey, I had a really lovely time too, but I'm just,
I mean, I see both sides. Like, yeah, the miscommunication is frustrating and it can be seen as being
you
led
seem
on.
cool, but I'm just,
yeah,
I don't,
but like I said, you'd never,
listen,
you're not going to understand my point. No matter what I say.
No, that's not true. Do you think
It is true.
You think most men are really bad at, I mean, I wish I had Rochelle here. She's not with us.
I'm not saying most men, but there are a lot of cases where men don't, and women too, I'm sure. But I'm saying for this situation, a lot of men don't react kindly to rejection and can do crazy things.
I get that, but fine. If you then don't respond.
Okay.
Don't say you want to be friends.
I don't know. I've been in her position and I've done the exact same thing simply because I was like, I don't want to make it like worse than it needs to be.
Then you're accumulating all these potential guys you kind of keep.
Oh, I just ghost.
Fine, but at least I'm not advocating for ghosting per se, but I think ghosting's better than just not wanting to be a dick, so to speak, and kind of just appeasing them constantly because you don't want to be mean, but you have no interest in ever hanging out.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people do that because it's like it's confusing to people. And I do think most people appreciate just the upfront honesty.
100%.
And sometimes I think mine is like those, I guess as a guy, maybe there's these women could do crazy things too.
100%.
I mean,
I agree.
there's certainly more stories but like women can.
Yeah, I'm not saying they can't. I'm saying as a woman, it is a thing that is in my head.
He's gonna beat you. That you're afraid that he's gonna like hunt you down.
There's so many situations where that is the case.
Just because they don't want to go on a second date.
Yeah, there's like on Daily Mail, I swear, it's like every other day I feel like I'm reading an article of like some guy shot this girl because they were rejected. Or on Twitter, I'm seeing it all the time.
Again,
I can't believe you haven't
I'm
seen
not
any
justifying any of these actions, but I'd be curious if it was literally a one date and it just go out, or was it it went on for a few months. And again, I do think that like people are so afraid of being upfront. They lead people on through like, oh, well, this and this. And then the other crazy delusional people on the other end are like creating this whole new narrative in their head about what this relationship is, only to finally realize they never had a shot in the first place. Again, that doesn't justify anyone going crazy. For the average person who's not insane and wouldn't harm anyone, they just feel like for a couple months being like, well, why didn't she just fucking like, I feel like the crazy guy, right? Because what is that fine line between kind of like, I'm just unavailable right now, but like you seem nice, so let's hang out. And then if you're really interested in someone, guy or girl, you're like, you know what? Oh, man, this person's great, and we seem to have some sort of connection.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just take them at their word, but like they keep every time I'm willing to like just let it go, they write back, or they give me enough, or they suggest we hang out, and then like I don't, and that person kind of feels a little bit.
I think a lot of people also just like the attention.
There you go.
Which I've for sure been that person before in my life.
Why do you think that's?
It was when I was younger.
I feel like, is it safe to say more women do that than men for the attention reason, or do you think men do that too for attention?
I think it's probably both sides.
Okay.
I feel like. I mean, who doesn't want attention and flattering attention? You know, I mean,
I like attention, but actually, I was talking with Rochelle, my producer, last episode, with Dylan and Blake fighting over Hannah, and she was like, "Oh, that's hot."
Yeah.
In terms of, she thought that was kind of hot to have two guys fighting over you.
Hell yeah.
I would find that as a guy, I'd feel uncomfortable
if two girls were fighting over you.
Like, as a guy, I just get very like, I don't want to deal with fucking with people that way.
Yeah.
Like that whole like, I don't, it makes me uncomfortable for a variety of reasons, is that I don't want to, for your version of, I don't want to get like shot by the crazy guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to interact with some girl who might be a little off her rocker and do some like crazy stalker shit because I fucked with her and led her on, and like I wasn't straightforward with her, or she like I was playing both sides, and I don't find, it doesn't make me more attractive. It doesn't make me feel more attractive to have two people fight over me. Do I like it if people are attracted to me? Sure, but like that has nothing to do with people actually like
fighting over you,
fighting over me.
Yeah,
I find it to be almost like
yeah, it's an uncomfortable situation. I can see
like
that.
Rochelle was super like even as a woman, she was just like, oh, that was like old school kind of like shiver. I was like, really? It was kind of, I don't know.
I feel like on paper, I would like it looks attractive on the TV screen, but if I were in that situation, it would probably be pretty uncomfortable to be in.
Yeah, I don't know. Final thoughts before we let you go.
I feel like everyone's going to watch this and be like, that bitch needs help.
We all need help, Andrea.
This is my new therapy session.
We were talking about this on the way in. You're a Dylan fan.
I am a Dylan fan.
Would you be a Dylan fan in real life, in the sense that, do you like the guy who comes up to you and says, I'm here for you, I just want to be with you?
Probably not.
I am 100% available.
Probably not, no. I don't like 100% available.
Why,
I like 10%.
Why, when you watch someone like Dylan on TV, you find that to be charming and nice? Because
I don't know why that is. Because it is like, I'm like, oh, he's so sweet and cute and loving. But I know that
like all those things.
Yeah, and if I were Hannah, it would be on overload. Like it would be too much for me.
But as you watch it, do you say, I want a guy like that just to love me for who I am? I feel like when you're watching and I see the reactions of people, I'm kind of blown away by like,
well, he's hot too.
He's a good looking guy, but everyone's like, oh, Dylan's so sweet. And, blah, blah, blah. And this is all true. And all I'm thinking is, you're all lying to yourselves. None of you guys would want a guy to do that, because you guys, and you should, but like we all as people, not even men and women, you don't want the person who's just available.
No, you're right.
And when you feel like you can treat them like a doormat, we as shitty humans have a way of just treating them like a doormat.
True.
When you sense this is like, I could go and make out with this other person right in front of them, and they might get a little pissed, but they'll get over it. You tend to do that. I don't know why. We're shitty human beings, but everyone does this.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. It feels good to be wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, no, but this isn't wanted. Dylan wants Hannah. She's trying to figure out if she's like, all right, I think in that sense, it's like, all right, this guy wants me.
Yeah.
I got to make sure this guy wants me too. I don't even know if I want him.
Challenge.
I just want to get him to want me.
Exactly. No, that's exactly what it is. I've been there. I feel you, Hannah.
Yeah,
bro, I feel you.
We all do that, but like, I just don't. Why?
The $1 million question. You're the therapist. You tell me why.
You're a smart gal.
I'm a smart girl.
Why? So when you've done that, did you ever know you were doing that?
Yes.
Do you think this painting guy? Final thoughts.
Oh, my final thoughts on the painting guy.
How do you think he feels about you?
I don't know. I think he likes
You don't know.
me. I don't want to assume anything.
If you found out that right now
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about you to his friends and just being like, this girl is amazing, and just pouring it on.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you got to watch a clip,
I would
Big Brother style.
that.
You would.
Oh my God.
It wouldn't turn you
I
off.
would die. It would be
If-
so cute.
Even if he was like, I would marry you tomorrow.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Really? Well, good for you.
If he ever sees this, Nick, I'm going to have to move out of the country.
No, I don't. I don't know. Who knows? I'll be honest.
no.
Most of our audience is predominantly women. We have what we call our 10%ers out there.
10%ers.
I doubt he's in one of our 10%ers.
But if he is,
Then great.
just
good.
know that I'm moving to Colombia. I'm changing my name and you will never hear from me again.
I think that's a good sign though, because here we are talking about you don't necessarily like someone who's super available, but you want this guy to be available for you.
well, not available, but I want him to like me.
But what if he was like? What if he was echoing everything Dylan was saying about Hannah? He was saying about you.
He could say it about me, just don't say it to my face.
But he can't
So
say it to your
messed
face.
up. Because that's like a overkill, you know? I don't know, dude. I got issues.
No, listen, we've all been there. I've been there where someone's like, no, I
Like, I
like you.
love you.
I like you.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're like, okay.
also like, what are you doing tomorrow? And
And the next day. And the next
and
day.
like, oh, just come here. Can I smell you? I think it could be a little intense. Andrew, before I let you go, we're going to play this little game for our listeners called Do You Know Me? We play it with our guests every week.
Ooh.
It's a fun little game. Usually I have my team of Rochelle and Shug here, and we guess who knows you better. But it's just you and I
Okay.
and our listeners listening.
Hey, listener.
But I feel like you should play this game with Paint Boy.
Okay.
On your non-date next date,
yeah.
you guys should play Do You Know Me? And it has all these lists of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And even on a one-on-one situation, you guys can both ask each other questions.
Get to know each other.
Get to know each other, and then you are honest about these answers, and then
Yeah.
hopefully there's some dialogue afterwards and be like, tell me about that time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like, for example, first question,
Oh, boy.
has Andrea
Mm-hmm.
ever been injured from sex? Of any kind. An injury could be some sort of, I don't want to say like a rug burn on your knees,
Oh, yeah. 100%.
scratches on the back.
Yeah. I had 2 enormous bruises.
Have you ever had to go to the emergency room or doctor as a result? Like,
No, not that extreme. Have you?
No.
Not yet.
no, yeah. Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. I feel like as a
Go
guy,
on.
but sorry, doctor. Yeah, she really liked me, got a little aggressive. I need stitches.
Could happen.
So you have, okay, you've had a little injury.
Yep.
Has Andrea ever left a bad Yelp review? Do it before you answer. I'm going to guess.
Okay.
You're an opinionated person. You can be rubbed the wrong way, but I don't know if you have the time or think you have the time to write a review. I'm going to say no.
That is incorrect.
You
I have.
You have.
I have. It was one time.
I've never done that. What made
Well,
you want to write a bad Yelp
Because
review?
it was when my house got broken into, they smashed the glass. And so the repair guy came to board it up temporarily. And I was like, it was that morning that it got broken into. And I was like all like whacked out, like stressed, anxiety. And so he was like, can I just take a photo of your credit card and write it down so that I don't get the numbers wrong? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, just do it. He spent $5,000 on my card. So hell yeah, I'm leaving a review.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you called the police on him
Yes.
and he got caught.
I got my money back.
Sure, because but also, what an idiot.
What a dumbass.
Like all these
And a douchebag. Who
These-
does that?
terrible, these tragic, Uber experiences, or where people
That happened to me. I got locked inside an Uber.
but how do these Uber drivers? We know you picked them up.
Right? Like it's all there on the app.
I don't.
What are you trying to get away with?
I don't understand. Well, that makes sense. Has Andrea ever asked for a nude? Yes, definitely.
No.
No.
Nope.
You haven't been like, send me, even if he was like, hey baby, can I have a, and you were like, well, send me a picture of your dick, and
Nope. I have no desire to see a nude. Like what? Like I
have
just
you
don't.
sent a nude?
Yeah, plenty.
Good for you. No, none at all. The male genitalia does nothing for you. What about your fluid? What about a female nude?
No. Like, why would I ask for nudes?
I don't know.
I could just come over.
Just come over, I guess. Huh.
Wait, hold on. Have you
Have I ever sent a nude?
or asked for a nude? Either. That's a yes.
I mean, like it's like it comes up. It's like flirting. It's not like
so, so Nick has yes.
I've never sent a. Yeah, I don't know.
Dick pic. You
I guess
have
someone I've been dating.
You have.
Someone I've been like hanging out with, like, and they've asked.
Did you leave your face in it?
No,
Good.
no. It's a yeah. I think with someone you're dating, it's kind of fun to like surprise and like if like, hey, send me when I'm, and they're like, okay.
I used to when I was at dinner with a guy I was dating, and I would go to the bathroom. I would send nudes from the bathroom while we're at dinner.
It's like a way to
fun.
spice it up, Has Andrea ever taken a karate class?
Have I?
I mean, probably not, but I guess it wouldn't surprise me. I think we say yes. I feel like Andrea has taken a karate class.
I have not taken a karate
Never like
class.
in Indiana?
Nope.
I have. I used to take karate when I was a
Really?
kid.
I
Yeah.
could see that.
I did with my dad. Has Andrea ever used a condom in the past 6 months?
Yes. Oh, I shouldn't have answered
Fine.
that.
You have. You practice safe sex. Good
yes.
for you.
I try to.
Do you wear protection with the fuck buddy? Or
Yes.
you have?
Yeah, because I'm not trying to have a baby.
Well, you could be on the pill or something.
I don't like the pill.
Is it a baby thing? So it's not an STD thing. I only ask
no.
because like when you have sex with your fuck buddy, are you guys constantly checking in about like, hey, like listen, have you been like safe and
And like regardless, I just like to use a condom anyway just to be safe.
because it feels good?
Yeah, that's why everyone uses them, right?
Just love that feeling.
Love it. That latex.
Has Andrea ever paid for a premium version of a dating app? I'm definitely no, you have not.
I have.
You have.
Raya. Don't you pay for Raya? You know what's funny? I literally canceled my subscription last
Pay for
night.
the premium, but like some you might just have to pay for.
Yeah. But I canceled my subscription last night.
Because she's in love with Paint Boy.
I knew you were going to say that.
Damn.
No.
Can Andrea name all the oceans?
Yeah.
Say them.
The Atlantic.
Mhm.
How many are there?
Oh,
You don't even know.
I can name them all.
The Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
The Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
The Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Sea.
No, that's a C.
The Red Ocean. The Salt Ocean.
So you can't. The Indian Ocean?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. That was on the tip of my tongue. You beat me to it.
Is there? No, there's not one more.
Yeah, there is.
Maybe I don't.
It's the
No, there's the. I don't know if there's one on the bottom ocean.
South Ocean.
No.
The
I
Southern
think
Ocean.
ocean names.
The Oceanic Ocean.
Yeah, there's 5.
So I was right. So I named them all.
The Pacific, Atlantic, Arctic,
Arctic,
Indian. What is this?
and the Pacific.
This is the Southern Ocean. That's not
what
true.
I said. Remember, I literally said the Southern Ocean.
I did not.
I said that.
Is this new?
Roll the
I
clip.
never learned that. And like, no.
Yeah, they just made it. It's new. They
Yeah,
made
bullshit.
it. They made it last week.
Has Andrea ever broken up with someone over text? Yes.
Yes.
That's not cool.
All the fucking time.
Has Andrea ever? Oh, this is our last one. I'm curious about this. Does Andrea follow her most recent ex on Instagram?
Fuck no, baby. Fuck no. Why would I?
Bitter.
I'm not bitter.
No, I think that's healthy.
Yeah, why would I follow my ex? I don't want to see that shit. Do you follow your exes?
My last ex told me to unfollow her.
Ooh.
But I think it was because I didn't care.
Did you block?
No. And they decided to unfollow me, and it was like, well, if I'm going to unfollow you, you have to unfollow me. And then they like threatened me, and it was like,
Threatened you?
You need to unfollow me. I was like, all right, I don't want to argue with you. I'll unfollow you.
T.
Anyways.
There's the sirens again.
Andrea?
Yes.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for having me.
Do you know me? Andrea, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm a shameless plug here. How are you liking your essential oils?
I'm loving them.
What's your favorite?
Release.
Hey.
The
top seller.
That's why I love it.
For those of you listening, 20% off for new customers still. It's this code natural for first-time customers. If you are a current customer, thank you. They are available at nhoils.com. If you're looking, we have a lot of customers who our center blend also is really helping a lot of people with headaches. It helps me with my headaches.
I get migraines.
I don't feel comfortable necessarily promoting that, but a lot of people who are suffering from migraines say it has really helped theirs.
I need to try that. I need to get me one of those.
It'll help you with your headaches. Migraines are you might have to go to the doctor and things like that.
I'm gonna use that, and if it doesn't cure me, I'm gonna tell everyone that it doesn't work. Okay. So no pressure, but
no pressure. nhoils.com. Code natural for first time customers.
Code Andrea for 5% off.
That's
a thing. Type it in. Type it in.
Andrea, where can people find you?
Twitter.com/Andrea Russett. Instagram.com/Andrea Russett.
She has an army. She's an interesting follow, I will say. She's entertaining.
Is it a good follow? Do you enjoy my content?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty good, huh?
I like your Twitter a lot.
Thank you.
You kind of remind me a lot of Demi in that sense. You're both good Twitter follows.
I'm into that. I like Demi. Demi's cool.
Demi's great. And I'm assuming you're into this whole fluidity.
Absolutely.
You're a bit fluid.
I am fluid.
Yeah. Have you dated a woman before?
Not dated, no.
Because you don't date.
I don't date. I've talked to.
Talked to.
Yeah.
Great. So then you're also Andrea Russett on Instagram.
Yes, I am.
Also check out her YouTube.
Or don't.
Why?
I don't know. Some of my videos are a little cringy, but if you're into it, you're into it.
I mean, so are mine.
No, all of yours are for sure.
Anyways, fuck you, Andrea Russett.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for listening. As always, feel free to rate us 5 stars.
5 stars.
Also, Andrea, once again, I said this in the beginning of the episode. The People's Choice Awards for podcasts is now available. You can vote up to 25 times. There is going to be a link in the description. Okay. If I can be honest, I want to win.
I'm going to make sure you
win. I feel like we have a dedicated audience.
I feel like you could win.
Our audience is growing, and I think they're passionate about this podcast. I hope. I don't know. I'm just delusional.
You have 2 viewers.
I got to be honest. I wanna be nominated and
feel
possibly
like you could win for real.
Win. So for those, if you're listening, we'll put it on our Instagram. We'll put it on the link to vote.
You've got my 25 votes.
Ask your friends. And, you can do it 25 times a day.
25 times a day.
It's like if this show wins, everyone listening wins because you're part of it.
I win.
We'll give everyone who listens little mini trophies.
Do I get one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. I'm in.
All right. Well, this was a really long goodbye. Well, what a great episode. Andrea, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed it, Rochelle.
I did. So good.
Anyways, as always, thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back on Monday for more, are we calling it Ask Nick?
Calling it Ask Nick.
Ask Nick.
We might change it.
Some great topics. Please don't forget to rate us 5 stars. Subscribe on iTunes or wherever you are streaming us. And have a great week, everybody. See you on Monday or Tuesday or whenever it is you listen to us.
You're crazy.